Hello everyone and welcome back yet again to another daily update video. My name is CryptoStash and I hope you're all having an amazing week. Currently it is Wednesday and let's get right into the charts. Bitcoin is right now going down again. You can see right here, ever since we started trading below that weekly pivot and the Monday low, Bitcoin is down around 6%, and from the high that we made right here at around 72.2k, we are almost down like 9%. And in my opinion, as I said, my trade plan is still standing, that we are about to hit potentially right around this area. We might not exactly hit 63k, but we could see price do at least something like this. We could come close towards this level. This order block that I have right here, it could also be drawn basically right here to the middle of this 12-hourly candle. We could also bounce all the way from 64 all the way down towards like 62.5k. So somewhere in between right here, I am expecting Bitcoin to find support, and then we could start printing a potential range like the one that we had back when Bitcoin dropped sharply through 80k. We did have something basically like this. You can see we got a pump, we had a pump, then we had a correction, then we had another pump. So right now we are in this correction phase right here, and then I would be expecting for us to have another pump. Now of course this time could be different, but I don't think that this is very likely. What is more likely is that we basically have the same range that we had right here. As you know, a lot of people have been going long right around here, basically around 69 to 70k, and the market makers are basically punishing those people that have been going long right here. And also, if we look at the stock market, same thing has been happening with the stock market. The Nasdaq, for example, the S&P 500 is basically close towards the all-time highs, but if we look at the Nasdaq, we have some perfect confluential levels of rejection. Everybody has been longing that yearly open level, and as you can see, we had 1, 2, 3, almost 4 times rejection from those levels right here, which is also basically confluential with the monthly open and the Monday high. We did not actually hit the monthly open level, but we did hit the yearly open and the Monday high. They did act as very strong resistance, as you can see. And same thing has been basically happening with Bitcoin. We have been hitting right here into resistance, and the retail traders, they have been longing those levels. As you know guys, I am a Bitcoin bull, but right now when we are in a downtrend, I do tend to keep myself with the trend. As you know, you gotta follow the trend until the end, until we see a trend reversal. I can't completely change my bias to bullish and basically give you guys false hope, as I like to say. The dollar is also potentially looking like it could start to reverse a little bit, maybe test even the monthly pivot or even the yearly open level, at least on the daily time frame. On the weekly, we are still looking basically kind of weak, but it is not a, basically as I said, it is a possibility. You can see right here the yearly open level falls perfectly into a resistance retest zone to potentially continue this downwards momentum. We did get some news today. You can see employment, basically we have new jobs, basically almost double that. Trump is really happy about that. You can see right here the forecast was 66 and basically we got double than that. And actually this is not that good for crypto. It is good, as I said, like for the dollar potentially, since the labor market is looking good. We could basically not be getting a rate cut during this year. It could very well happen, but those news are actually not good for crypto. They're mostly good for the currency, and we can see that right here with basically the stock market falling and Bitcoin also falling. But of course, guys, this is just for now. Anything can change. But as of right now, let's look at some of the altcoins. And if you have any altcoins that you want me to take a look at, let me know in the comments and I will be doing so. Ethereum, you can see rejecting multiple times from this support into resistance flip. It was support and right now we have flipped this level back into resistance, as you can see. Solana, we are basically, if we look at the hard time frame like the weekly, at some very important spot. You can see right here, this is basically historically, if we draw this order block from the lows from like back in 2022, you can see this whole range right here, how it has perfectly played out. It was support, then we broken down of it, and basically we have traded below this level. Then it was resistance right here, and after that we flipped it as support, and ever since then you can see right here we are right now falling exactly into this very key macro zone. So very interesting to see what Solana can do, if it could possibly bounce from here. Hype is also, as you can see right now, back below the yearly pivot, and we are approaching the yearly open level. Hype did held pretty nice, but with this selling pressure from Bitcoin, we could see another roll over towards the downside. Sui is absolutely getting smacked. You can see we are just like 20 to 28% shy from hitting the liquidation week bottom. Same thing for XRP. We actually did drop below this, but we are potentially we could revisit like this last week right here, which is confluential, like below $1 is also the I think yearly, the yearly S2 is right here just below $1, but this is like a big move, around 42%. It could happen in the coming months. If you look at the open interest for Bitcoin, you can see we did get some flush out from the open interest at this move. Once the New York Stock Exchange opened, we saw a pump, and after that we got a dump of around 4%, which is pretty insane. Volatility we're getting is kind of crazy in my opinion. If you look at the liquidity, we had liquidations towards the top, but we failed to grab it. And right now Bitcoin is potentially, as I said, going for this liquidity down to this like fair value gap right here that we have. And then we could look for that reversal. Fear and Greed Index remaining below 10. But something very interesting is that we have 3 bullish days in a row of Bitcoin spot ETFs inflows. Basically, the bigger institutions, they have been buying some Bitcoin during the past 3 days at those cheaper prices. So very interesting to see. Long versus shorts ratio, we have, you can see right here, almost 24 billion in shorts overall, more shorts in the market as of right now, almost like 3% a difference, which is quite big, as you can see. And funding rates are still remaining negative on the most of the major exchanges for Bitcoin. We covered the news already, and I do think that this would be it for today, guys. Hope you liked it. Stay safe, always use proper risk management, and I'll see you again in the next one. Bye.